Good.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Me too.
Anyway, yeah, we hadn't planned this really good. But anyway, so NCC 1761, it's just a date. It's in the middle of the Acadian expulsion from Nova Scotia. So just, just as a history reference. In doing my research for this and on Facebook, okay, you gotta put the mic right up here. In doing this on Facebook, I was a couple sailors from the USS Acadia AD 42, which was a destroyer tender back in the day. That is also now a part of the legacy. I didn't know about the ship until these guys told me. So yeah, it's the USS Acadia AD 42. It was more like the Cerritos. Yeah, a couple of the sailors told me 8 people got pregnant on the last cruise. So it wasn't, the ship's captain wasn't very happy with the crew. Right now it's at the bottom of the ocean because they used it for target practice after it finished its service. The reason why I'm doing this is because I was on TV. I did a couple interviews. I work at Costco. I see everybody up there, okay? I bumped into Maria one day, Maria Panapalis from CTV. And she's in my line, she's coming through, and I'm thinking, oh, geez, do I do this or not? Okay, I got the house, it's ready for prime time now, and we'll see what happens. So she's coming through, and I said, all I can think of is Captain Pike. Be bold, be brave, be courageous. So I said, she's coming through, and I said, hi Maria, how you doing? Good, good. I said, well, if you're looking for a story, I said, I got one for you. She goes, oh, what do you got? I said, all right. So she says, I show her, take out my phone, and I show her that picture. And she goes, what am I looking at? I said, a fully functional Star Trek style house. And she says, give me your number. So she, in talking to, we got back and forth between her and Mike Lamb, who was the videographer who came out and shot this. He had a plan. He was a Star Trek fan too, old school Star Trek. Okay, and he came out to the house. I'm in uniform, got the whole place turned on, and he told me we filmed the interview, and he says, okay, this is what I want you to say. So he starts with, he told me what to say. We did the editing, and I'll show you what we came up with, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about the background on some of the behind the scenes, I guess, after that. I don't know if anybody, have you all seen the interview yet? No? All right, you're all watching it for the first time. This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. It's not a familiar computer to me, so just give me a second. There we go. All right, there's the first one. All right, this is what we came up with for CTV. And I apologize for the image quality. I had to film it off my TV.
If you are a Star Trek fan, you may know that today is actually First Contact Day. Jason Roach definitely knows. He became a super fan after watching the original movie as a kid. And now, as CTV's Mike Lamb shows us, he's turned his home into a Trekkie's dream. The final frontier.
Here's full screen. Everybody okay with that? F? Oh, there we go.
Oh, wow. It's really cool. As close as I can get. My name's Roach, or Captain Roach of the USS Acadia. I've been a Star Trek fan all my life. That's me. I saw a Star Trek the motion picture. I left the movie theater as a kid to get a crush and really got me. Said, well, I want one. After all the years of collecting and whatnot, I finally decided to put this together and built a fully functional sort of Star Trek house. Got 7 Alexa dots that control the plate. Computer, activate the game start sequence.
Navigation online. Navigation online. Communication online.
Whatever you can do on the show, I can program the house to mimic it.
Field touch.
coverage.
USS Enterprise now under command of Acting Captain J. Roach.
It's no different than doing a J's room or a Luke's room. Star Trek's like that. So who is your favorite characteristic? Oh, I'd have to say Spock. He was the logical one. I like Kirk, but Spock was the one that solved all the issues and the problems. I'm not sure. I think we know something. I think the message of Star Trek is hope. Hope for the future. Hope that we can solve our issues and our problems. Okay. We've gone out into space, and we're meeting all these new people and new races, and we're going up to the stars, and we're exploring the final frontier. Really cool. Thanks, Jason. Mike, no, not that one. Where am I? Mike, I think you've been transported to Sesame Street. Transported? You have a transporter in your house? Mike, it's not a house, it's a ship. Well, that seems highly illogical. Recalibrating my sensors. I'll be at your location as soon as I can. I'm at Hal-Con now. Jason, I'm a cameraman, not a rocket scientist. Now! I'm on my way. Thank you, Captain. Engage.
Never seen on this show.
At least we got Mike Lamb back. I was where we were
I haven't seen him, so I don't know what he's
Star Trek 8, The Search for Mike Lamb.
Thank you, Mike, and thank you, Jason. Jason actually is mine. I'm so glad that we could get out and do this story.
There we go. So that was a little bit of fun that I had, just to show off a little bit. That was so good that, so Maria's reaction was actually genuine. Mike wouldn't let her see the article as they were putting it together. So that was the first time she watched it too. I found that out afterwards. So and if he doesn't win an award for that, there's something wrong. Editing is great. So that was the first one I did. It was so good that they liked it so much. I was on the national news on CTV that night. I was on the 24-hour news network all weekend in April, and it was on CP24, and what was the other one? Oh, it was on, they aired it on breakfast television the following Monday. So I was all over the place that weekend. And then I did another interview with Paul Brothers. It's more of an interview. I think of this one I'll show you. I was way too happy because I woke up like 6:30 in the morning, had about 4 cups of coffee. So I'll show you this one. This one's the one that we did for Global, and then we'll get into, that's all how it ended up, and we'll get into how it all started.
Well, this morning, so if you watch this morning show, you know that I go to
There we go.
Costco, Bears Lake, quite a bit. And there's this guy who works on the CAC, his name is Jason Roach, he's been there for years. He's been telling me for years all about his love for Star Trek and how he has part of his house now converted into a Star Trek shrine. So seeing as how this weekend, September 8th, they tell me it's Star Trek Day, I said, you know what, fine, let's hook it up, let's see what you got. So let's say good morning to Captain J. Roach. In his house, as he's known. He's Jason Roach at Costco, and Captain J. Roach at home, who is with us from the bridge of the USS Acadia. Good morning, Captain Roach. How are you?
Good morning, Paul. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. I'm glad we could finally get this off the ground. We've been talking about this for ages, or you coming on the show. So tell me a bit about your love of Star Trek, what's happening this weekend with Star Trek Day, and then how your house is converted now.
Well, this all started a long time ago. I think I was probably 9 years old. I've been a fan of Star Trek forever, and my mother took me to see Star Trek the motion picture. And I think the 12-minute beauty shot of the Enterprise really got me, and it allowed me to visualize and try and create what I've created here.
And so what have you created here?
Yeah, exactly. It's a fully functional kind of little TV studio, bridge room, media room. Yeah.
So, Captain Roach, take us through your house us kind of room by room and, what's in there for people to see?
Alright, so down in the basement, I have the engine room. Couple TVs, all my collection down there. I also have a lounge, which pretty much looks like this, down in the basement. You can, change, the graphics on the curtains. I can do 4 different scenes, and I can change the yellow cards on all my tablets to represent, you know, the certain ship that I want to do. So if I get bored, I just change the background.
So like, what do your friends and family think of all this Star Trek fandom?
Oh, they think it's great. My father doesn't understand it at all. My mother's just wowed by it all. It's like, I don't know how you did all this. She just thinks it's kind of busy. For me, it's comfort. I like it. It's what I've always known, and just I like the aesthetic. It's pretty much the same. It's all voice controlled. I have 7 dots that control the house. I wrote a bunch of routines. It pretty much will do anything you can do on the show. And if it doesn't, give me 5 minutes and I can make it do it.
Okay, what can you demo for us right now that you can tell the ship to do on television?
Well, I can put the ship on red alert. Computer, Acadia, red alert.
Tactical systems online.
That's pretty good.
The siren's going.
These,
What? Powered up.
they're all the screens can be interactive as well.
That's awesome, man. How much, can you tell us how much money you got sunk in all this? Or what?
Don't ask.
I don't even know how much I've got sunk in this. I've been collecting for 40 years. I was collecting before the internet was a thing. I was going through magazines at comic book shops that I was getting in the States and ordering stuff. So, yeah, this all started before the internet. And with the internet, like, how am I gonna do this? And with the internet and the things of the Star Trek community, I was able to just grab everything, put it all in a room and tie it up in a nice little bow.
So what should we be thinking about, Jason, this weekend with Star Trek Day? I know you're gonna be dressed up at Costco to celebrate the event, but, what other Trekkies should be thinking of that are the show its impact?
Well, you know, Star Trek, Star Trek Day, September 8th is the day that it first aired. So this is the unofficial, okay, this is what they're doing, this is when they make all their new announcements. So we're hoping, you know, they've got Section 31 coming out. They have, what's the other one coming out? Then Season 3 of Strange New Worlds, you got Season 5 of Lower Decks. So there's a lot of content that is still coming out. Starfleet Academy is debuting. That's being filmed all up in Toronto. So yeah, so the franchise is growing pretty strong.
How can people follow along with what you're doing? I know you're on Facebook, right?
Yeah, I'm on, if you look up either my name, Jason Roach, on Facebook, or the USS Acadia, and I've got 40 some odd videos in there showing you where it started and where it's all going now.
Well, listen, a happy Star Trek Day. Listen, I'm more of a Star Wars guy than a Star Trek guy, so what do Trekkies say to each other? May the force be with you.
Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper. Star Trek Day. Captain J. Roach at the USS Acadia.
And way too many copies. I'm glad you enjoyed that. It was fun to do too. Now, the behind the scenes on the first one was Mike. He wanted to. We were trying to figure out how to end it, and we couldn't figure out how to get him onto the planet. And he says, "Well, you could say I'm a Star Wars person, and you could shoot me." And I went, "That's not a Starfleet thing to do." And so I said, "I do have a transporter in my basement." And he goes, "What?" And I went, "Yeah, I got a transporter gag in my basement." So we went downstairs, and he wanted to get me going under the bridge. So when I walked in the door and opened the door, I said, "Captain on the bridge." He didn't tell me to say that, I just said it. I waited in the room for about 5 or 6 seconds, and I went, "How was that?" He goes, "That was perfect." So after shooting everything upstairs, I thought I was an actor or something. Yeah. So I do work at Costco. I am Captain Kirkland. So I got my friend at work made me a name badge. What else do I got to show you? I can also, it's basically a simulator. I can kind of do that too, but I don't really want to trash the room. So there's no way I'm running that scenario. It can do it, but it'll just blow things up too much. No, pyro everywhere. So I was just about the Acadia legacy. There's the Acadia there. I was looking for her all summer. She was over on the other side of the harbor. Yeah, she's getting a refurb, but I drove by it yesterday or today, and she's back at the Maritime Museum of the Atlantic, so, yeah.
She's been back for about a month.
Is she? Okay, cool. And there's the AD-42, that's the USS Acadia. I also have my great-grandfather's navigational sensor.
Wow.
So, one of these days I'm going to take it down to the Maritime Museum. Somebody can have a look at it anyway. Tell me a little bit about it. I don't know how to use it. It's missing pieces, I know that. There's 2 ocular pieces. I think when we were kids, we got into it and we were burning ants or something. we lost that a long time ago.
That's not a good thing to do.
There's a lot of Easter eggs and stuff in my house. There's one scene in Insurrection where Riker gets the joystick, the manual control joystick. Oh, there it is. I had the Thrustmaster. I had it. It was sitting around the house. So yes, the house actually has the additional steering column. So where did that go?
Interviews.
Oh, did it? Okay. There it is. All right.
So if you drag that up to USB drive,
There we go.
or
Just copied it there, and I'll just ditch it back here. Unfamiliar computer, sorry. All right. Oh, they're gonna love me messing with this computers. There we go. So it all started for me. Let's see if I can do 2 things at once. I work at Costco. Of course, I can do 2 things at once. It started for me back in 1977. Star Wars came out. We'd all been watching, back in the day, we only had 3 channels on television. And Star Trek was one of the reruns. And I'd watch that on the weekends. And now I didn't really get too much into the stories. I was more into the special effects. And as we all know, the special effects back in the day weren't that great. It didn't reel enough for me. I'm just going to run a video, or just run a screensaver here. How do I get those in a slideshow?
oh, it is in the slideshow already. If you go over to the right, or to your left, I guess. There just was like a little arrow.
On there? Oh, geez. Unfamiliar computer systems.
Just try pressing the, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we can do that. I just wanted to rotate it on its own.
Yay, kitty.
No.
You'll have to.
Rutherford, get up here and fix it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was watching Star Trek and the original series. Later on, what came out in '77 was Star Wars, and as a kid, I went, "Holy smokes, Star Wars! It looked real." So I wanted to know really how they did it. Not, what it looks like. How did they get the images on the screen? So I started watching a lot of the how-to stuff, which is how I got all the ideas for this. I watched, there was a documentary once that they took two razor blade handles and a highlighter, and they painted it. And they filmed it as a shuttle in front of the Enterprise on the Binar episode. You could see it. Eagle Moss turned that into a model and charges $39.99 for it. Yeah, no. Yeah, it's Star Trek, you know, I have upstairs if, let's keep on clicking these. Is there a way to do this?
Volunteer?
Yeah, where's the tech person? Is it full screen?
Your non-stop rate might have a option.
Yeah, there it is. There it is, slideshow. No, I got it, Melissa, there we go. So yeah, just, you know, so then what got me on Star Trek was, so Star Trek and Lucille Ball and Gene Roddenberry got Star Trek made. Then Star Wars got made because of the success of Star Trek and syndication. Then Star Trek the Motion Picture got made. They were going to do phase 2 TV series, but that didn't pan out. They changed it to the movie, so we got Star Trek the Motion Picture. But you know, arguably Star Trek the Motion Picture wasn't the greatest Star Trek movie, but it was the most Star Trek movie of them all, as far as I'm concerned, with the adventure and the story and trying to solve the issue. But the 12-minute beauty shot of the Enterprise, it got me. And like I said in the interview, I left the movie theater as a kid going, I want one someday. And I decided to do one. So it all started, basically 3 stages of this. They had, I had a clean slate room, which is fortunate. I wanted all my artwork up there, and it all started with this stuff, the blueprints and the 3D cutaways and everything. I said, if I'm gonna do this, I want my artwork that I've spent a lot of money on and I like looking at to be the center of the room. So I had put the Chris Cushmans and the blueprints, and there's another guy who did the Enterprise A from the movies. His name was David Kimball. So that was my first. Actually, my first one was the Enterprise of the. Show you that picture. Here we go. That one there. That's the one that started. I got that for Christmas. So that's my oldest one and the biggest one. And then I started picking up the other ones along the way, and I knew it was the same artist. I just didn't know who it was. So the funny story is on that is how I met my favorite artist. I was posting stuff on Facebook about the ship and the house. And a gentleman by the name of Chris Cushman sent me a message. He said, oh, nice pictures. It's his artwork. I didn't know this. So he sends me a message saying, you know, nice artwork. I said, oh, great. He says, look, Jason, he said, I might have something that you would want for your house. And I said, well, I got too much stuff already, but thank you very much. And didn't give it any thoughts. 2 weeks later, I'm surfing on Facebook, and I see a post by Doug Drexler. And if you don't know who Doug Drexler is, he's basically from Deep Space Nine on, he's done Star Trek. Enterprise was his baby. He designed these great graphic scene artist. So he posted an image and said, Chris Cushman's the best 3D graphics artist around. And I'm going, wait, what? Hold on, did I just meet the guy who I've been looking at his artwork for 30 years that I like so much? So I go downstairs in the basement and look at my poster. Illustrated by Chris Cushman. Son of a... So I get back on the internet, and Chris, just out of curiosity, I just saw a post from Doug Drexler. Are you the Chris Cushman? He goes, yeah, I thought you knew. I said, I had no idea. So he was pretty flattered, and I was like over the moon. It was like, oh, okay, and then the gushing starts. It's like, oh, your artwork's awesome, buddy. So yeah, he's on my friends list now on Facebook. So yeah, he's still doing them. And he's a fabulous artist, but that's where it all started. Get that up first. Everything else, the other decals and cutaways and everything else I did afterwards. And when I was doing this as well, putting this all together, the dollar store is your friend. To do this on a cheap budget, it's all dollar store lights. I have one remote control, actually I have about 100 remote controls, but they all do the same thing, and I spin in my chair and I can turn the lights. So normally I don't run it all. I don't know if I can have, it's great for watching sports because you can have, 9 or 10 sports games on at the same time. Only one with volume, it's not the Halifax Sports Club. But that's that's what I like, the blueprints and the ships. Hopefully someday we'll get there. So exit out of that. And then I'll show you. So that was stage 1 in doing this. Stage 2 would have been, there. Stage 2 is right here, the automation. I tried to do an L-card screen myself. That is a bathroom light with, that I got at Costco on sale. And just with the computer, or just printer paper cutouts, and just try to block the light. I'm gonna see if I can do it better than that eventually. But I started with that. We'll put the slideshow on. There we go. So the automation. So I had it all started out, and I knew what I was gonna do in my head about this room. The automation came next. At Christmas one day, somebody gave me an Alexa Dot, and I already had the Google and everything, but the Google, it's not very Star Trek-y to say, hey Google, So I thought, and I got the Alexa, and I went, oh, that's the Alexa. I said, but that's not the search engine and stuff like that. I said, well, wait, that is the one that you can change the activation code to. And I remember somebody else did it online and, turned their house all red. By saying red alert. So I went home, hooked it up to the internet, changed the activation code, got some Wi-Fi lights, and hooked them into the system, wrote a program. When I say computer red alert, the sirens go off, the lights change. And I did it, and I went, oh yeah, I'm onto something now. So all the programs and stuff right now you can get from, it's on Amazon. You can find all the transporter sounds and red alert sounds. The only thing I can't do anymore is shoot torpedoes. Somebody took the app away. I can't shoot torpedoes anymore, and if anybody knows how to do anything on that, and like to do anything on that, or Amazon, yeah, I need that app back. But I can still do it manually, but not like that. So basically grab every computer screen and TV that I have, and I have a bunch of tablets on the walls that are hooked onto the walls with command strips, just to give it, most of it's static, but I do have upstairs, I've got 3 TVs, 5 tablets, 1 Xbox, 1 computer, and an old PlayStation 3. As long as it'll work, as long as it'll show an image, it's good for me. So that's, and most of these images that you're looking at, they're all on YouTube. You can do this yourself, okay? You can go, just look up L-cars on YouTube. It'll come up. You can find all the screens. Every screen ever created on Star Trek is there. Now, those images are done by a guy by the name of Mihu, well, I don't know his last name. It's Mihu Rob. The website is mihu.com. And if you're a Star Trek fan and you want to play with the L-cars, they're interactive. You can go in and you can, he has the Starfield, the Titan, the Protostar, what's the other one? Oh, and the Cerritos. You can eject the warp core in the Cerritos. If you go to the warp core, he told me how to do it. If you go to the bottom door of the warp core and zoom in, you can eject it and it'll eject it. But he's still working on stuff like that. Mihu Rob. He's working on the engines, or he's working on the engine injectors now, and I can't wait to try it out. He's putting updates on every once in a while. Now he does the Titan screens. So when I got the place set up as the Titan, I've got his stuff running. When I have the house set up as the Enterprise from the movies, well, those screens are some from YouTube and Trek Yards, and a new guy just came on the scene about 3 or 4 months ago, and he's been killing it on Blender. His name is Rob Betts, and if you go on YouTube and look him up, he's got a 3D graphics of the Enterprise A bridge. It's fantastic. It's super cool. So that was phase 2, stage 2 of this endeavor that I started. Stage 3 is the curtain backdrops. That's my time. Hold on 15 minutes. Where's the, okay. There we go. All right. So stage 3, the backdrops. And so how was I going to make my house look like it should without knocking walls down? Because I only have 12 by 12 rooms. So, there we go. There we go. That's the transporter right there anyway. Oh, when Mike hit that button, I was in the back room and yelling at the machine going, "Computer, energize." So, I have hallway curtains. That hides my washer and dryer in my closet. So when I walk up the stairs, that's what I see all the time. The main floor can be done, although I don't have it really too much on the main floor. I don't want to scare anybody when they come over to the house. But yeah, there's the torpedo bay. I also have the holodeck. And these curtains, I got the images off the internet. One gentleman, the first person who I saw was, his name was Donnie Versicha. And his images were the ones I needed for my thing, for this plan. That's one of his right there. So Donnie, I took them. I didn't ask permission, which I should have, but I wasn't gonna. I was just looking at them on the computer, and I was just gonna blow them up. I'm not making any money off this or anything like this. This is just for my own personal use. So I said, well, what the hell, I'll do it. So I did it. And I found a company on Etsy that would do it, but I had to find a company in China that would do it because copyright laws in North America, nobody would touch me. So I sent them off to China, and they sent them back to me, and that's what I got. So after I got them back, I figured, okay, well, I have to fess up that I took his images and did this stuff with it. Donnie also works on the Gene Roddenberry Preservation Project, the Roddenberry Project. So I sent him a message, sent him the images. I said, here's what I did with your artwork. I said, I hope you're cool with it. I hope you're okay with it. I said, I'm not, this is a non-for-profit thing. I am not trying to get rich off this. This is my own personal use. He wrote me back. He says, yeah, no problem, man. Can I put a link on my website? So he was pretty cool about it. And I don't mention him in all my posts, but I do have on my YouTube post, his name is mentioned there. Thank you to Donnie. Love your work. I also can do, each room can do 4 different scenes. It is a studio class starship. Because I did it like a portrait studio. I figured, well, okay, that's a good idea. So behind the Enterprise curtains there, let me see if I can show you. I don't know if Voyager came up yet or not, but I can do behind the Enterprise ones. I can also do where's my Voyager? Sucks getting old. Can't see anymore. Oh, there's Voyager. There we go. Yeah. So I found another guy on the internet. His name was Daniel. What's his last name? Daniel Corrigan. And Daniel does a lot of these videos on Facebook and YouTube as well. And I took his images. I did the exact same thing. Yeah, man, no problem. Oh, good, man, looks great. So it's a community effort. Everybody contributed to this. Look, I've even had Doug Drexler and Dave Blast contribute to this, because Dave Blast was the guy who built the Enterprise D bridge for Picard, and they rebuilt it for $1.3 million for 2 days of shooting.
Oh.
And it was an exact replica, except for the back screens, which they upgraded. Okay, the screens are different. But they did save this one, because the old one got trashed in the Generations movie. They destroyed it. So they took the Enterprise D, and they put it in storage, and they're dragging it out this spring, and it's going to be at Universal Studios in California, so everybody can have a tour of the bridge. So it's not going to waste. Star Trek fans will be able to take a walk on the bridge. And the other one, the Titan graphics were from, I do believe Doug Drexler posted those ones, and I took those. And I have talked to Doug Drexler, messaged him, and I have talked to Dave Blast, both of them, just telling them, thank guys, here's what I did, this is my own little thing. So, yeah, that's my Star Trek story, on how everything ended up and where it's going, and I'm still doing podcasts, or I'm starting to do podcasts, just fun little stuff. It's just, I see so many people doing creative things, and it's like, well, why can't I do that? And it's like, we're gonna make a couple people happy along the way and share my fun. I mean, it's not everybody's thing, but it's my thing. But if I can do that, I think it's great. You know, as close as I can get it. I mean, the rooms are only 12 by 12, so instead of knocking out some crazy walls and doing that stuff, and you know, I don't have enough room for slidey doors. If you want to see a really And well, I was inspired by another guy. His name is Todd Spann, and if you look him up on YouTube, the guy's got a transporter in his front room, the TARDIS, which is bigger on the inside, and he's got the main bridge and the hallways, and he's got slidey doors. So he's also built a Stardate too, which is pretty impressive. It actually spins. Yeah, Todd Spann, or the Todd, on YouTube. He's done some fantastic work, and I just wanted to try and do a little sort of the same thing, but my take on things. So you know, you get inspiration by seeing other people's ideas and stuff like that. Look, the back of those mats on the back wall, those are bath mats from the dollar store. But you know, it looks like it should, as long as it looks like it should, you know. And everything's logoed and stuff I've collected and everything, so. I guess, oh yeah, Yoda, Grogu is my co-pilot there. So, yeah, so that's pretty much, yeah, where it is right now. So, yeah, that's my Capt story. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming. And yeah, I'm on Facebook, Jason Roach on Facebook. YouTube is the USS Acadia, and I'm gonna break out when I do podcasts, I think I'll just remove those over to an Acadia Access directory. So you know, I'll still post videos and stuff like that, but if I do a podcast, I'll do it on the other side. So if you want to follow along, I'll still be posting social media stuff. So yes, question.
Question. Just wondering, like, how long did it actually take you to like do the whole entire project? Like, how many years? You know what I mean?
Collecting since I was a kid. The downstairs to completion, and I'm still working on it, so I still am. 2 years, two and a half years to do the basement, and in bits and pieces and stages. Probably only took me a year to do the 2 rooms upstairs because I knew what I was doing at that point. Yeah. So it's like, okay, well, I know what I gotta do and this and that, and I know what I need, so it just, you know, it came together a little bit easier upstairs. So yeah, the NCC 1761, that's the basement. NCC 1761 Alpha is the upstairs. And yeah, it's my nice little computer room. It does music. I can put music all through the house and everything. And it does what it's supposed to do, you know. So, yes.
On your to-do list, what's the thing that you're most excited about working on next?
The next step?
Torpedoes.
Yeah, I want a torpedo. Look, if I can figure out how to make a torpedo app and say, computer, fire torpedoes, that would be the next step. I don't know I never thought about that. Like, I don't know, I'm still working on this. I mean, I just, in the last week or so, I decided to get back into it, and I got the black masking tape out. Not graphics tape, masking tape, because it's cheaper. You gotta order from Staples, because you can't get it anywhere else. And just to tape everything off, because in some of the early ones, it doesn't look like panels, so I had to try and fake the panels in the paneling. So, a lot of tape on the walls. I don't know, maybe the ceiling's next. Do that. There's not too much, actually, and I didn't take a picture of it, and I should have. I have the only washroom ever on a Starfleet ship. Like, seriously, there has never been a washroom on a Star Trek ship. The only one you ever see is when Kirk sits on one, he pulls out the toilet in space dock, and it says, "Do not flush in space dock." And Kirk sits down on it, either in the cell, and then Scotty busts them out in Star Trek 5. But I do have, the washroom is done downstairs as well. It's also my hydroponics bay. So, yeah, everything works. I even had a Stardate in the backyard at one point, but everything failed on that. I like it all. I mean, I like Star Trek, it's my thing, but I do have 6 lightsabers at home too. It's my next favorite. But yeah, I'm watching all this. Yep. And watching all this, I mean, it's just the how-to stuff, and how did they do it? And before they had CGI, what did they use? Backdrop curtains, you know. So it was simple, it was easy, So yeah. Thank you for coming to my panel. Thank you for listening and talking so much. And live long and prosper.
If I could do it, I would. I'm trying.
Thanks, guys.